can't expect you to be like me, like me. You don't have the proper ID. You can barely compare me to anything else. I'm a rare breed. I can't expect you to be like me.
Hey everyone, welcome to No Nonsense Hip Hop. I'm Ali, got Tiptoe with me today. We wanted to start off, I'm sure a lot of you will have seen or heard a recording that was going around of Playboy Cardi's vocals without Autotune, and it was not good. So we wanted to have a bit of a discussion about the use of Autotune and kind of what it means, I guess, for hip hop, and if we think it's a good thing or not.
I think more so kind of also touch on the subject of the artists that are using Autotune. A lot of them, if they didn't have it, would sound horrid, like Playboy Cardi. When I heard it, his voice was just, I was just like, what the fuck am I listening to? This is horrible. And how Autotune has made it to where anyone can become a star now. And people are like, he's so fucking dope. Oh my God, they're like dope. They're the GOAT, you know, and is it really, can we really say that's talent?
Well, that's it, because I think when Autotune started, like it's sort of an artistic thing, right? It's like it adds a different level, a different layer of something to someone's vocals. And if it's used in a certain way, it can actually be pretty cool. But now you've got people using it as a crutch. It's like you can't record without it. And because of the way that music is now, like anyone can record it, anyone can use it.
It's just accepted.
And it's so different to, you know, if you look within hip hop, you know, if you couldn't rap, if you couldn't stand up and hold the microphone, you could not get credibility. You couldn't make it. Whereas now that it's completely flipped.
Well, it's not just hip hop, like R&B, or, you know, you got the mesh of R&B with hip hop. Like you have artists like, gosh, let me see. I'm trying to think of, okay, Busta Rhymes. He has sung some of his hooks, and his voice is amazing still without Autotune. A lot of these artists that are singing, but they use Autotune, back in the day, the thing that gave people was like, oh my God, Marvin Gaye's so amazing. You know, all these artists, it's their voice, the talent they had. It started off with using real instruments, which made a big difference, which is why that, you know, before hip hop, which is why I love Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak's project that they had recently dropped, because they're using real instruments and they're really singing, right? And it's amazing. And then it went to digital sound, like you're using the drum machine and all these other things. And then hip hop came out, and it was lyrical content. It was people that had bars that could spit. And then it started, and then we're here now to where we thank God, I think we're past the mumble rap era. But even with that, it was all Autotune. You had maybe, I know this isn't, I know people are gonna be like, you're exaggerating. You had like 3 lines in the whole fucking minute and 20-second song, because they're all shitty ass little tiny songs, and everything was hook.
I think that's the thing too, is it's not just it's using Autotune, it's the fact that you've literally got like 4 words just repeated over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So if I could excuse it a bit more if at least there were like verses and
like some artists do though,
some lyrics that, you know, and I might not like the sound as much, but I can still at least appreciate that there's some talent in terms of writing. It doesn't have to be super Jedi lyrical, but at least, you know,
like a vibe that has something. Like I'm trying to think of an artist that does use Autotune. Like I think Yellow Pain I like some of his stuff.
I don't
He's
know
kind of
that.
political though. He's a newer artist who has used Autotune, but he does have some he's a political type of dude. You should check him out.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think of other popular artists that do use Autotune that are still pretty, like I could listen to,
Mm.
because they have some bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got some bars. It may not be lyrical, spiritual, miracle, type of bars like Crook or Royce in them, but
Mm.
they got some bars.
There's something there that you can at least dig
Yeah,
into. That it's at least
right.
got, yeah.
As opposed to like Little Pump, fucking what's the ones that had that Gucci Mane, who's that, or is that
Oh, I honestly, they all just
or
blend
like
into
Little
one for me.
Yachty, maybe?
Yeah,
Like they're like everything is all hook.
yeah, it is. It's a repeated hook
And
and
I just
a
like
lot
wonder,
of very generic beats that all kind of sound
right. And I think
similar.
is it more because they just want to vibe and not have to think, or is it?
I mean, I
'Cause I
think a little bit,
wonder-
like judging from things I see on the timeline, like on Twitter, that you just conversations come up that you see because someone you follow follows it or whatever, and I think there does seem to be this thing now. I don't know whether it's a certain thing with the younger generation or whatever, but it all seems to be about the vibe. That's
is
like
it
the
though
most,
like
that's the
a
important thing.
my thing though, is it like a party type? Like, are they getting fucked up and just vibing? Or I mean, because not everybody's getting fucked up. I
No,
know that.
no.
But like I know when I used to party, um, my thing was listening to, like, I would throw on Earth, Wind and Fire, and the words, like if I was drunk, I'd be like, oh, this is my jam, and just sing. And even with hip hop, like I would throw on Scarface and Ghetto Boy, stuff like that, and it meant something to me even when I was drunk. Like it,
I have,
the
yeah, because I
lyrics,
even have like pop songs that just remind
yeah,
me of a
Michael Jackson
time.
and shit too.
And some of them are just super cheesy stuff, but it's like that's what came on at a certain point in my life when I was out with my friends in a pub or something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah,
But it
like
still there were still lyrics to it. There was still like
right.
a story in the
Oh,
song, or
remember, me so horny, me so horny, love you long time. I mean, even that shit, but it had something to it.
yeah, and
Had
you
some
hear it
words,
and it takes you back straight
right?
away. And but
So
there is still a meaning to it. There is still something, an emotional connection in some way
exactly, and
to
I
it.
can't seem to find what these kids or even some adults that like that stuff, like Little Pump and stuff,
Yeah.
like what? Because for me, it's always been like I could listen, like Slippin' by DMX.
Mhm.
That song saved me from killing myself when it came out. I was in such a dark fucking spot that when it came out and I heard it, I was literally gonna try and kill myself. So, and even songs like Dear Mama, that song reminds me of my childhood and my kids' childhood. There's all these songs, many that I could sit here and listen, and it takes me back to something because it meant something. But these songs that are coming out, like Little Pumps and all these littles and shit, I'm like, what are they connecting to?
That's it. There's nothing
because they
to
can't
connect to.
go 20 years from now and be like, oh my God, that song meant so much. He said, you know what I mean?
He said the
Like,
same word over and over again for 2 minutes.
and so I'm just like, are they party heads? Are they club vibing? Is like, what is it that they're like, he's so dope? I had a guy harassing me in shoe gangs in UMG's live a while back, and Hell's One can tell you. He was like, I want to take you to dinner, Maria, and play Little Pump and make so you could see why I love him so much. and he literally was stalking me. I had to block him. I don't understand the connection.
No, I don't. And like,
am I too old?
No, but I've always been like that. And I don't know whether it's just different people, but you know, maybe you and I and the people that we, you know, connect with and our friends that we've made, you know, through music is just because it might be different music, but we approach music in the same way about, you know, it's, and I get like, there are times when you don't want to have to think. It's not so much about the lyrics, you know, you want to just kind of chill out, relax.
You don't want a bar breakdown.
Yeah, you just want to kind of vibe a bit.
Even then though, I have hip hop songs that I could throw on, or I throw on my old school like shit, and it's still meaningful though.
And you could still, there's still some talent involved in, you know, and even like you were talking about the production, you know, live instruments, and then but you know, if you think about, you know, really good hip hop production, there's a skill in how you're sampling it and how you're changing it and what layers you're adding to it.
Right, like even
create something.
Digital Underground, Humpty Dance. It's literally about, I mean, if you listen to the words, it's just a fun little track. It's not, you know, the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
But he's saying something, whether it's not meaningful or not, it's the point. Like you had, like I said, the song, Me So Horny, or Big Booty Hoes, you know, all these songs that came out that literally were not political, were not deep meaningful or anything. They were just fun little, you know, stupid songs, still had something to say and not say nothing at all. Still, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And there's everyone's going to have a certain production that, you know, is a little bit unique and is a little bit different. Whereas, and I, you know, I hate to sound like, you know, we're these two bloody grumpy old women here just complaining about all the young people, right? But like,
what's the term they use? Oh, you an old hip hop head.
Yeah.
You know,
but and again, a lot of the production just sounds, there's nothing different about it. There's nothing exciting about it. It's a very similar kind of drum beat and some very similar sounds that come in.
Right.
Whereas actually, again, you kind of go back and, you know,
wonder what the fuck, when
like
this
you had these producers who were trying new things and coming up with different sounds. You still have some producers who are doing that, but
excuse me, guys, taking off my shoes. Time out. I gotta just say, excuse the mess. Moving shit out of my room to put in wood floors, and I'm hungry, so I'm eating a donut. Excuse me. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
It's all right. We've all got shit going on.
Yeah.
But, and I guess, you know, it is that question of, is it what's being, you know, we've kind of touched on it before, what's being pushed by the industry and the balance of what the consumer wants, right? So who's in charge, you know, where's that push and pull kind of?
I have to wonder too, is are they just trying just to bust out whatever the fuck they can? Like, I mean, if you look back to mumble rap, when mumble rap was really huge, they were coming out with songs all the time. But these songs, in my opinion, had nothing to offer me. They all sounded the same. And they're, like we said, no verses, nothing, all hook, maybe 4 different words, and that's about it. But they were pumping them out all the time.
Yeah.
So my question is, was that just so they could hurry up and get it out and not give a shit about what was said or anything? Just hurry, let's get this out so we can make money. Is it all about money? And if that's the case, should they be allowed in hip hop? Do they really care about hip hop? Because hip hop to me is a lifestyle, and rap is what you do.
Rap is like one of the mediums of
rap is the occupation.
Yeah.
Hip hop's the lifestyle.
Right. And I think that is a good point. And that's the difference between calling someone a rapper and a hip hop artist. And And again,
There's a
you see
difference.
some of these little people, because they're all little, apparently, very small, these people. And they all look the same to me, and I
Not
can't tell
just
them
that,
apart.
but look how they disrespect the old school
Exactly.
artists
You hear them talking shit about Tupac
or
or
Biggie
Biggie or
or
any of them, and there's no
right,
respect there for,
right.
I mean, one thing, what our group likes and, how we all kind of came together is because we love listening to Crook and Royce talk about being
Right.
MCs and the craft and the, the art that they do and how they learn.
Not just them, but just love hip hop
Yeah.
in general.
And the people who
Yeah.
respect that and what came before and the story and the history and what it all means.
Right.
So when you get these rappers coming in who
Have
obviously
no respect.
haven't studied it because they
Right.
can't rhyme.
I mean, Little Yachty said, "I've never heard Biggie's song." Like,
Yeah.
he said that in an interview.
So the question is, are we consider? I don't consider them to be hip hop. They're just rappers.
Well, I don't either. There are some artists out here that I don't consider hip hop that I say they're rap.
Yeah.
They're rappers.
Yeah.
But my thing is this, there's a lot of them are so disrespectful to the ones that paved the way for them to be able to do that. They have not studied hip hop, like you said, because like Little Yachty had said he'd never heard Biggie or anything, a song by Biggie, which is like, how do you not ever hear, like, give me a break. So that
even people who don't listen to hip hop have probably come across Biggie.
Exactly. So my thing is, they don't disrespect hip hop. They don't respect hip hop. They don't respect the people that paved the way, like NWA and all these Public Enemy, Ice-T, that fought for freedom of speech in hip hop. They don't respect the craft because, let's face it, they're not MCing out there. Even if they weren't MCs and they just did rap, there's a lot of rap artists I can name that actually put good music out.
Yeah.
So why it has to be all for money, because all they're talking about is ice and lean, and all they do, if you look at their Instagram and all that, they're just flashing money.
Yeah.
So they don't love this. And there's so many kids out here that are influenced by this shit that are like, oh my God, I love him. He's the GOAT, or blah, blah, blah. And
I mean, because there are people who are very seriously talking
like
about
guy.
Playboi Carti is a top 10 hip hop artist of all time. And you're
right.
like,
and it's like, I feel like, should they even be in the category of, like, when people, like, you have hip hop, you got subgenres, right? You got gangster rap, you got woke rap, you got, fun rap, you got all these should they even be allowed to be a subgenre of this culture?
Not if they're not respecting the culture, and not if they're not learning it. And I mean, that's my opinion, your opinion,
and,
people we know, but
I don't even want to put them in the category of rap.
Yeah, well, because, rap, there's a skill to being a rapper, even if you're not, you didn't come up MCing, whatever, but, the skill to write, but even just to be able to deliver it.
Right, like, take away Dr. Dre's production skills and just put him rap. He doesn't write his own shit. We know that. He writes some, but really,
he has help.
But he's got lyrical ability, is my point. He could rap that verse that is written with talent and sound good. And the song is amazing. Even though I don't consider him an MC, I consider him a rapper.
He's a producer who can rap.
You take away the producing part, he's a rapper. And he could rap the fuck out of that song, whatever's written for him. So that's talent. When you got these rappers that they're saying are rap, they put them in the category, because, like, if you look up these channels like DX Hip Hop, all these media outlets, and they discuss them all the time.
Yeah.
Like they're in their news things, whatever they're, and I'm like, but you got them on a hip hop media channel.
Yeah.
And you're discussing what Little Yachty said or
and
did.
and putting their albums within the categories of the 10, 20 best albums of a year.
What was it that CC had posted in the chat where they had, I think they were talking about Pharoah Monch, and then mentioned Young Thug, I think it was, or
something like that. Yeah.
And they were like, Pharoah Monch is, what was it, top 10 or whatever, top 3 most like best lyricists, whatever. And then had the nerve to say YG Thug is like, oh God, he's so dope, in the same fucking conversation.
Yeah. I mean, 2 completely different categories.
Very different artists too.
Yeah.
Pharoah Monch is fucking dope.
I mean, for me, all I can think, that question you asked, it's got to be about just making money, because
it has to be.
They're, are they selling physical albums, first of all, which, you judging for me by who listens to them?
I think they are. I think they got like CDs and shit out.
But how many of those, but the more that you release like that, and the more you've always got new stuff coming out, the more streaming numbers you get, because you got a new thing out, and I got another X million, 100 million streams because I've just put out another album.
But
yeah, it'd be interesting to see the difference with them, that breakdown of physical albums versus the streaming numbers.
I'm gonna look up. Okay, so Little Pump's discography, right? Okay, studio albums. He's got 2. Okay. And he's got 2 albums, and look how much he's mentioned in the media. Okay, so 2 albums. Singles, though, he's got loads of singles. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so maybe not loads. Other charted songs, which I don't know what the fuck that is. There's 3 guest appearances. He's got a good amount of those. So let's look up his net worth. Album Little Pump's sales. The album debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 45,000 albums equivalent units. On June 21st, 2018, the album was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America for combined sales, album equivalent units of over 500,000 units in the United States. So this was his album, I don't fucking know the name of it. It's got him in the water with sharks swimming around.
I have no idea. But it's like, but that's it. It's when it's the album equivalent units. Is it just because people are streaming it at
and that's just the
parties,
US, though.
Or are they? But are they physically buying the album? And that's...
Let me see. Let's see. Little Pump, physical. I gotta know. Because
I think that's an interesting comparison.
Yeah, I think so too. Physical album sales. Let's see. The album debuted at number 3. So it's saying physical copies was 45,000 album equivalent units. And then on June 21st, 2018, the album was certified gold within a week. And so for combined sales, physical, and I guess, I don't know if it's what else, could it be streaming maybe?
Well, because album equivalent,
500,000 units were sold. Because
album equivalent, isn't it? It's the streams. It's like a certain number of streams.
45,000 is the physical copies. 45,000. over 500,000 though combined.
Who are you 45,000 people who went
That's what
out
I want to fucking know.
and physically bought and I know that, like, you know, and I think this is a conversation we can get into much deeper at another time about the whole streaming
with
sales thing.
else.
And I think that's you know, that's another topic we're gonna go into deeper. But you know, there is the politics about Spotify, and if you pay to be on some of the big playlists, you know, that to get on like the new big hip hop playlist or whatever, and
I think
how much of it comes from that rather than people like.
I think the label also with radio, because it's played a lot. I know people are like, well, nobody listens to radio, but radio, if you go to public places, offices, whatever, radio is on. Nowadays, before it would be like contemporary, whatever music, but nowadays they have hip hop, like your regular local stations that play this crap, right? Yeah. And it's on all the time in these places where you go. So
I think back to like, they're paying to get it.
The DJ at the radio to play this song every fucking hour, on the hour, 30. Yeah, that's how come people that have no choice, like at a job and the radio, like we're not allowed to hear music, but at the job I had before that, they would have the radio on.
Yeah.
There would be songs I hated, I could not stand.
And you hear them eight times, 10 times a day.
Sing along. Yeah, because it was played all the time.
Yeah. And I think back to like being in the UK, but like when I was a teenager, so that, you know, listening to the more kind of, I guess some of the more pop oriented, especially in the 90s, like it was,
oh God,
like hip hop didn't, as you know, penetrate into sort of my life as much.
Trying to look at Shay Nor's album sales to do a comparison, but go ahead.
And the radio stations I listened to, like the main commercial stations in UK, did not play a lot of hip hop. Like it was really rare to hear that. The ones I remember, I think No Diggity probably made it. Gangsta's Paradise because of the movie. The Diddy one he did for Biggie.
I missed
I'll be missing you.
Wasn't that like trying to think, was that the Supremes that he kind of, because you know the song I'm talking about, the original, right? Trying to think what the original was.
I thought it was like The Police or something, wasn't it?
I think it was, you know what, I'm gonna look, I think it was I'll Be Missing You, right?
Yeah. But those songs made it, but a lot of hip hop didn't make it onto those stations. But now those stations would play hip hop, not really, but you know, all this stuff all the time, because that is now what seems to be the new pop. It seems to be the new,
right?
Like,
yeah, it's really,
that's what you hear on these stations. As I said, you know, in the 90s, they didn't play Tupac. They didn't really play Biggie very much.
We did here. Radio was amazing 80s and 90s here. Well, I would say to mid 90s.
Yeah. There may have been stations, but they weren't the main commercial stations.
No, I mean here, commercial radio stations, like your regular radio stations, were playing all that shit. And they would have certain days, like they would have, like Sunday would be oldies. They would play like lowrider oldies, like, and then Saturday and Friday, most of the time, was the hip hop days. And let me tell you, the DJs, they would do these massive, awesome mixes of all these, like Tupac, Biggie, all of that shit would be, I would say late 90s too, because Tupac. And the radio used to be booming. I mean, they had some crap shit come on, but it used to be, especially in the 80s, I remember recording, like if I had to take one of my mom's crap cassette plate and poke the little thing so I could record over it, you know what I mean? It was so dope. And then now radio just sucks.
Yeah.
unless you're listening to a satellite station like
Yeah.
Sway, like Shade
Right.
45, you know, shit like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it used to be. I don't know, because you're UK. I'm
Yeah,
talking
I mean,
about
it was
America.
definitely, there was some hip hop on the main commercial stations, but not to that extent. But like I say
Right.
now, I don't really listen to it, but I'm more aware of when you're in a store and they're playing, you
And
know,
it's
one
on.
of the main ones. It's
Yeah.
as much this pseudo hip hop, as I'm going to refer to it now, because it's not real hip hop. Pseudo hip hop as much as you'd hit, you know, normal pop music.
Yeah. I
You can
cannot
see how
find
that's all
no.
changed.
This is a sad part. I'm trying to find for Shane Norris, say physical. I cannot find nothing for physical album sales. Like I did with Little Pump, it came up right away.
And again, you know, I think she probably has some, but you'd probably have to buy them directly from,
That's what I'm thinking.
like, her
It's
site,
not
right?
like,
You're gonna,
right. It's not like at a store like you would find Little Pump.
you're not gonna go flipping through your CD section in your local music store and find Shane
I've-
Orr there. Yeah.
Maybe I should look up because I'm trying to compare. Well, even Drake, like he does great album sales, physical and all that. But yeah, I'm just like, I think it has to be about money for them. Because I mean,
it's just, I want to be famous. I want to make some
how
money.
could they care about the genre, about the lifestyle of hip hop? They put no effort into their music. It's just bullshit. There's no meaning to it. And I'm sorry, people, if you like Little Pump, and if you're a fan of him, I'm sorry. He's trash to me. He has no lyrics. It's just hook. And the one thing that I could say is the only thing that's probably good is the beat. And they're not caring. They don't give a shit about the culture or anything like that, because if they did, they would put more effort into making good music.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find it. I thought it was maybe so like, because I could have sworn I've heard Diana Ross singing that.
Oh yeah, I will figure it out. But everyone knows what song we're talking about anyway, so it's fine.
But anyway, so I don't think they care. They obviously don't. I mean, like, look at when Little Pump was talking shit about M, and he only did it out of the blue. I'm like, why are you talking about M? Like, you just out of the blue decided to say he's old and trash. Like, is that what he said?
It was something. I mean, he's just clout chasing. He's just
right, and that's
he knows if he mentions M's name,
he's gonna get views.
But views.
That's another thing.
Every single outlet will
are clout chasers.
Yeah.
They're always saying some outlandish bullshit, like Little Yachty saying he's never heard a Biggie song. And I think he was genuine, but there are these Little Xan, when he said Tupac, he rated him a number 2.
I need to move into a different room, but keep talking.
Okay. These are all like clout chasing moments. And I just like, I don't understand the level to where people like that dude stalking me, wanting me to like, because he wanted Shoe Gang to do a song with Little Pump. And I said, are you kidding? There'd be no fucking way. Horseshoe Gang and Little Pump on the same song?
Why would they do that?
No. So he got upset because I said there'd be no fucking way. And he started stalking me after, but I've had other people, I've talked to kids in my hood that are younger, the YGs in my hood, and they like that kind of auto-tune. I'm not saying they like Lil Pump, but I'm saying they like that music. My daughter, she likes that music that has a lot of auto-tune, but she does like the ones that have some words to it and are saying something. And those kind of songs I could get into.
Yeah,
that's why I said like Yellow Pain. I like him.
As long as there is, they are saying something. But it's
right, because auto-tune can be good if they use it right. And if it's not, like, I can't stand a song that's all auto-tune.
Yeah.
It's like really everything, like the whole
and it just seems to be
long.
It just seems to be everywhere now. So I mean, I know that when we talked about the Grammy albums and Nas's album, and that there are like the 3 songs in the middle,
The
And I'm
whole
just like,
middle was
why? Why do you feel the need to include this? Your album was good anyway. You don't need to.
I think it was to reach a different generation, and maybe they'll get them to look into it. But I don't know if any new albums came out last night that were auto-tune based.
I haven't had a chance to listen to anything yet.
Okay, so I heard, well, let's finish this conversation and then we'll talk about that. But yeah, I don't think they care about the culture at all. So I kind of feel like maybe they shouldn't be included as far as genre and subgenres. I don't think they should even be. That's why I was saying like mumble rap should have its own genre. It should be mumble rap.
Yeah, it's not hip hop.
Because that's all it is. It's mumbling, you know, which is why Eminem on Kamikaze was posting fun, you know, brain dead, eye dropped, you know.
And what's funny about that is the people who don't get what he's doing. And they're like, oh my God, he's not saying anything. And it doesn't mean anything. It's like, that's the point. He's making fun of it.
He's not supposed to, because he's saying, you guys sound like shit and you're not saying shit and your songs make absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever.
And I'm making fun of you because
I got it.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone who, I mean, I got, you know, you listen to it and you go, yeah, we know what you're doing.
Yeah, but there were some that are like, I saw some reactors because when it came out, I was like, let me see these people react to him, right?
Reacting was still kind of new then too, wasn't it? It was like.
Right. It was when it first came out. And I was watching, there were some people that I don't even watch their channel, but I was like, let me check out. And they literally asked that question, like, why is he saying this? Maybe it's a good thing because they don't know the original song. So, you know, what he's making fun of, the Migos song, but yeah, it was funny. I was just like, you don't get it. And you're not paying attention to what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just like you mentioning that whole thing about like a collab with Shoegang or something. And like, I saw a post, seen a few of them where people are like, you know, M will like, you know, M post something. We're not M, but Paul or whoever, you know, there's a tweet from his account.
Him.
Yeah.
Everybody, M does not do social media. He'll post something once in a long while, but tagging him, you're tagging his management, not him.
Yeah. So the account posts something about, it could be like merch or, you know, something else. And you get these people going, oh my God, we really, really want like an Eminem and Playboy Cardi collab. And it's just like, no, we don't. We really, really don't want that.
Right. He's done some with some art, like, trying to think, well, White Goat is just genius. I just love his
hooks
voice.
are amazing. His hooks are amazing.
But like,
and he's got a great voice.
I'm trying to think if Juice WRLD.
He did
a collab with Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD, his music, I think I've never really listened to him, like any of his projects. I heard him freestyling.
I think that's what everyone respects a huge amount. Right. Yeah.
Because he really was off the dome, and you could tell because he'd make mistakes, but he really was just going, it wasn't written. And I could respect that.
Juice had talent.
But I mean, think he was auto-tuney type of music, right?
I think it was a little bit more this sort of almost like, and also like sort of melodic, where it's sort of rapping with like the singing kind of,
I mean,
like, vibe to it.
Him as an artist, Juice WRLD, the projects he put out, not the M collab, but I think he did use auto-tune. I'm not sure.
I think he did. I think he did at times, but
I like that collab.
Yeah, that was good.
You know,
yeah, and like on the B side, there was a couple of the hooks, like Sly Piper and is it Madge, the other one? I can't
remember, but those were dope.
Yeah, I thought they were good. So again, if it's used right, it's okay. Right. It's when it's, and if just it's not the whole like
fucking song
banging you over the head constantly with just auto-tune.
Yeah.
Until you literally turn kind of brain dead.
Because most of their songs, these artists, the whole song is just auto-tune. Well, the whole fucking project, which is why when people say, oh, I've had people DM me and say, oh, did you hear? And I don't really listen to that. They're like, but this one really is different. You should check it out. He's really doing. And then I turn it on first 10 seconds. I'm like, no, it's not different. Thank you.
It's
but no,
the same. It's
yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Horseshoe never said they would collab. This guy just kept asking in the chat, please do a collab with Little Pup. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then he started wanting to date me. And it went from him cussing me out first to harassing me about Little Pup, asking me to go out with him. And I had to block him. And Hal's one blocked him like that. She was like, going off on him too for coming at me, and it was hilarious.
You attract some weird people on Twitter. Like you do. I feel left out sometimes. Like they never come for me. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? That they're not like. Even
like the one that was getting an argument with me over Tom McDonald.
Oh yeah.
He ended up following me, and there was a few others that I've gotten into disputes with, and to where I'm like, the fuck out of here, fuck you, and they'll end up following me after, and they'll make nice and be like, okay, well, I'm sorry, and end up following me. And I still get DMs from the person that went at me over Drake. And I didn't tell. Here's the funny thing, that one dispute, it was just him and I, right, arguing on Twitter because he had Drake as the best lyricist and whatever. And other people went at him, and they were going at him for me, and I never even put it in a chat or anything. They just decided to go after him. Shadowlands especially, that's my ride or die right there. But
yeah, Shadow's always up for a fight there.
He's like, damn, your whole crew came after me. Like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, I'm just Maria.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up following me. It seems like most people I argue with on Twitter end up following me. It's weird.
I think a lot of it's like weirdos. They just want the interaction.
But I do get some weird people. That guy that his tag was Maria, I will find you with hearts. That was his tag.
So
he was stalking me. I had to do a video. It's on my YouTube channel. And I was like, dude, do not try and find me because you're going to find hollows. But crazy. Yeah, I do get a lot of weirdos.
Yeah.
And I think it's because my interaction, like with people like Crook, Chuck D, stuff like that, they see that. So
you're kind of visible. But it is funny though that someone would ask for a collab with Shoe Gang and Lil Pump. If you listen to Shoe Gang and you know what they talk about, you know they would not want any part of that.
Exactly. They're always talking shit about mumble rappers. They did a project. A lot of their projects are where they're fucking talking shit about them.
They have a project called Don't Lyrics Matter.
Right. But
they like lyrics, right? They're lyricists. So the fact that someone would ask that, it's like, well, obviously you don't actually listen to Shoe Gang because you would know that they don't. He
was not all there.
No,
I don't think so. Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap it up now. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, share our video, share it with everyone. Let us know what you think about the the topic of Autotune. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back here next week. If you got any topics you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments or tag us on Twitter. Our socials are in the description. Thank you guys. Have a good evening. Peace, love, and respect.
Compare me to anything else. I'm a rare breed. I can't